Hi, my name is Lauren Sapala, and today I'm talking about introvert writers. Specifically, I'm talking about introvert writers who identify as highly sensitive. Highly sensitive introvert writers are a bit of a different package from the regular writer. Introvert writers who are highly sensitive are also empathic, highly creative, and intuitive. If you have this specific bundle of traits as a personality, you are going to be a different kind of writer, and the mainstream writing methods aren't going to work for you. I've worked with hundreds of writers over the years who have suffered from writing blocks. They hit walls all the time in their writing. They will start projects, they can't finish them. They get a lot of ideas, but they can't follow up on any of them, and they feel overall very stuck and very miserable in their writing. And most of the time they blame it on themselves. They think that something's wrong with them. They're not following the right method. They haven't found the magic door or the magic key. They need some sort of magic something that will come in, this formula, and that will help them do what they were always meant to do, and that's to be a writer. Well, the truth is, there isn't really a magic formula out there. In fact, instead of looking for all of the different techniques that they need to master, it's going to be much easier if this type of writer accepts the package of traits that they have and works with that. So that's that intuitive part of you, that's that highly sensitive part of you, that's that introverted part of you. Now, there are very common problems that I see introvert writers run into all the time that I haven't really seen anyone else out there address. Number one being that a lot of introvert writers are not good at plotting. They're not good at outlining. They're not good at planning things out. When they organize too much, they tend to feel stifled, and that delicious juiciness of their creative ideas tends to fizzle out really quickly, and then they abandon the project and they go into shame because they feel horrible about themselves, and they're like, see, this is further proof I can't finish anything. This happens every time. Another thing I see is that introvert writers have difficulty writing in linear order. So a lot of times setting up the goal to start at the beginning, move through the book in linear order, and then end with the end, it just doesn't work for them. And again, when it doesn't work for them, they take it on themselves as, I'm wrong, I'm the one who's not a writer, I'm not cut out to be a writer, and they go right back into shame. So these are some of the very common things I see happen to introvert writers, and introvert writers never really know that they are not the problem. Another one is writing a chapter or two and then giving it to other people to beta read, right? So they have this big idea for a book and they'll write, maybe half the book or less than that. Like I said, maybe even like 1 or 2 chapters. And then they'll give that to a critique group or a friend or a writing buddy for criticism. Now, for many other writers, this is okay. A lot of other more mainstream writers will say, will write in this way, and they really thrive from getting the feedback as they write. If you are an introvert writer, if you're an intuitive writer, if you're a highly sensitive writer, you work more in a big picture way. So writing these little sections of your work, giving them out and getting the feedback actually isn't helpful to you. In fact, it will make things a lot worse, because if the feedback isn't good, it will completely shut you down, because highly sensitive writers are very, very sensitive to criticism. Also, even if it's not negative, even if it's positive feedback, if the person has any suggestions about what they think you should do, which most beta readers do, that can really confuse highly sensitive writers, because we work in a big picture way. So when we chunk things out and we get feedback on such small bits, it really doesn't help us advance toward our goal of finishing the book or finishing the story. It just confuses us when we're still in the middle of it. We need to get all of it out of ourselves. We need to get that big picture view before we can then really look at it and see, where do we want to go? What is this story about? What needs to go? What needs to stay, right? So there's a very particular way that intuitive writers can work that will be helpful to them and not shut them down. The problem is, if you look around at online writing culture, you don't see these ways. You don't see these techniques. A lot of the stuff out there isn't designed or built for highly sensitive writers. It's sort of designed and built for the rest of the population. And if you're highly sensitive, you know that what works for the rest of the population usually doesn't work for you. I'm teaching a free class in just a couple of days. And I'm going to be diving deep into all of these things that don't work for highly sensitive writers that we think should work and that we keep trying to use over and over again. And I'm going to introduce some tips and techniques that actually do work for highly sensitive writers. Methods you can use, practices that you can implement right now, today, tomorrow in your life to start moving forward and to start moving out of shame and moving into a different place of confidence and new hope with your writing. I'm going to be doing the whole class over Zoom. It's an hour long. If you register and you can't make it in person, it will be recorded, and I will send out the recording probably about 24 hours after the class, so you'll have that to view whenever you'd like. The whole thing is free, and it's for introvert writers who are struggling. So if you're struggling with writer blocks, if you feel like you can't write anything, if you feel like you haven't written in years, if you feel like you are writing but you're not happy with what you're writing, or you're confused, or you're stuck, or you can't finish anything, or you have too many ideas, if you have any of this stuff going on, this class is going to be really good for you. It's called The Introvert Writer. If you'd like more information, make sure you are on my email list. If you're on my email list, you'll get all the announcements as they are released. You'll get all the updates on when the class is and how to access it and the Zoom link and all that good stuff, the recording afterwards. So if you're watching this on YouTube, check the comments below, sign up for my newsletter. If you've got this through your inbox, then you're already on my newsletter and you're good to go. You'll see the announcement for that come out. Like I said, it's in just a couple days. It is free, but you got to sign up for it. You got to register so I know to send you the updates. So please look for that in your inbox and I will see you there. In between this time, between now and then, happy writing, and I'll see you at the class. Thanks so much. Bye.